morning, everybody. I feel like one of these moments. Good morning, class.
Good morning, everyone. I welcome all of you here to the Township of Saddlebrook. We are so honored and proud to have Governor Phil Murphy.
Right here, man. I got your back.
Thank you. Governor Murphy's here today at our Senior Citizen Center to sign a very important bill. This is an issue that has been very near and dear to the hearts of New Jersey AARP. I know they've been lobbying for this for a long time, and from what I understand, past Governor Christie had vetoed it, so we're going to get it done today. I want to shout out to my group of seniors. I have about 15 here from Saddlebrook. We support this legislation, and we stand behind the governor's aggressive agenda to build a stronger and a fairer economy here in New Jersey. I want to thank Senator, maybe someday, Governor.
Not too soon. Just saying.
Senator Joe Langana for all that he does for the 38th District and for sponsoring the Secure Choice Bill, which gives private sector employees a convenient and an efficient way to save for their retirement. I would like to introduce some elected officials and dignitaries that are here with us today. My Saddlebrook Council, we have Council President Florence Mazer. Both stand up. Councilwoman Karen Darminio. Councilman David Garrick. We have with us our business administrator, Pete Ladico. Assemblywoman Lisa Swain from the 38th District. Assemblyman Chris Tully, also from the 38th District. We also have with us Labor Commissioner Rob Acero Angelo. And Assemblyman Majari. Hope I got that right.
Raj Majari.
Okay. Raj. At this time, I want to introduce the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce Chairman, Luis De La Hoz.
Thank you, Mayor White. Good morning, everyone. My name is Luis De La Hoz. I'm the Vice President of Business Community Development for BCB Community Bank. I'm a business owner myself, and I'm the chairman of the statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, which represent 120,000 Latino small business owners that contribute over $20 billion to the state economy. Over half of New Jersey workers currently do not have access to a retirement savings plan through their employer. Existing retirement savings programs, such as Social Security, are critical to retirement security, but do not provide enough for an individual to depend on during their retirement. Today, Governor Murphy will take an important step for New Jersey people as he signed a bill making it possible for people to save money for retirement without generating any kind of cost to their employer. This law will reach people who work for small businesses, giving many the opportunity to save for retirement for the first time. This program will help New Jersey workers grow their retirement savings so they can take control of their financial future. It's provide a simple and easy pathway for workers to save for retirement out of their regular paycheck and grow the additional savings they need so they can maintain financial independence in retirement. Thank you, Governor Murphy, Assembly Roy Friedman, Senator Joe Lagana, for building a more secure financial future for New Jersey workers. We, at the statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, strongly support laws like this that encourage creating and maintaining financial independence. Now is my honor to introduce our governor, who has done so much to inspire, support, and improve workers' quality life in New Jersey, Governor Phil Murphy.
Thank you, Luis. Thank you. Well done. Thank you. We're here for a pretty special thing, but I can't help but notice the bingo board in the back, and I'm hoping to come back and play a little bingo with the seniors here at some point. What a treat to be here. Good morning, everybody. Thanks to everyone here at the Saddlebrook Senior Center for opening your doors to us this morning. Thank you, Mayor Bob White, for welcoming us today. Bob and I were together last night. We're together this morning. I'm wondering what we're doing tonight. I want to thank the council president and members of council and business administrator who help you make this community as special as it is. And thank you, Luis, for your introduction, as well as for your leadership of the Hispanic Chamber, one of the most important business organizations in our state, in particular as it relates to small and medium-sized businesses. I'm honored to be joined by this all-star lineup here. Again, was with them last night, but to be beside Senator, future Governor Joe Lagana, apparently. I'm the last to know in whose district we are in. Assemblyman Roy Fryman, to his immediate left, Roy, honored. Assemblyman Raj Mukherjee on the far seat 1E in the front row. I also want to reiterate the acknowledgement of Joe's colleagues in the 38th District, in whom we sit, Lisa Swain and Chris Tully. A treat to be with you. It's also very cool to have our Labor Commissioner with us, a guy who goes to battle with me every day, Rob Acero Angelos. So, Rob, it's great to have you with us. To all the activists, to the seniors, I see your red shirts out there, folks. And so thank you all for coming. Because of the hard work of the legislators and advocates here, led by AARP, and we're going to hear from Ev in a few moments, and with the support of our administration, today New Jersey is taking a bold step toward building the retirement security of millions of residents. Today, in a few minutes, I am honored to sign into law the New Jersey Secure Choice Savings Program Act. That doesn't necessarily roll off your tongue. New Jersey Secure Choice Savings Program Act. Frankly, this is 3 years overdue. Given former Governor Christie's, and this was alluded to by Bob, 2016 veto of this proposal while he was running for president, and literally I can't for the life of me figure out why, because this is not a Democrat or a Republican thing. This is a smart thing. A Secure Choice IRA will give every worker the ability to save 3% at least of their pre-tax income, or a different amount, if it works for them, for retirement. Importantly, as it will work through a direct payroll deduction, saving in Secure Choice will be automatic. Across our state, nearly 1.7 million workers do not have access to an employer-sponsored retirement plan. This includes nearly 3/4 of those who work at places with 100 or fewer employees. Many have already begun saving in individual retirement plans. But, and we all know how this works, after paying the bills, the rent or the mortgage, buying gas, putting a few extra bucks into a child's education or a rainy day fund, too often writing an extra check into the IRA just doesn't happen. For many others, the only retirement plan they have been paying into is Social Security. But as our seniors could tell you, while Social Security is a tremendous safety net, it is not a retirement plan. The average annual benefit of $19,000 is not enough to pay the bills and allow retirees to actually enjoy their retirement. As AARP has called it, and as Roy, who is a chartered financial consultant, also knows, we're facing a retirement crisis. This crisis was put into stark relief by research released on Tuesday by the Government Accountability Office. Their data shows that 48% of Americans age 55 and over had nothing put away in either their 401k or individual retirement account. The fact is, more and more New Jerseyans are facing the prospect of retirement without adequate savings to ensure dignity throughout their retirements. We must do more, and with Secure Choice, we are. A Secure Choice IRA will be completely portable. That's an important point. As residents change workplaces along their career path, they won't have to open a completely new IRA each time. Secure Choice will be there the entire way, and employees will be able to choose from a variety of investment options. This is a smart step for the 1.7 million New Jerseyans who deserve the peace of mind that comes from being able to put a nest egg away, to build a nest egg rather, for their retirement years. Secure Choice is a new weapon through which we can help close our wealth gap, break the cycle of poverty, and build a more secure middle class. I thank Senator Lagana and Assemblyman Fryman and Mukherjee for their work with us to get us this important legislation across the line. And I likewise want to shout out the other sponsors who are not with us today: Senator Shirley Turner, Senator Troy Singleton, and Assemblywoman, my cousin from another mother, Carol Murphy. I thank AARP for their tireless advocacy, along with other organizations, the statewide Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, the Main Street Alliance, the Anti-Poverty Network of New Jersey, and Salvation and Social Justice, among other organizations. Congratulations on a job well done. It is now my honor to introduce a fierce advocate, AARP's Director of Advocacy, Ev Liebman. Great job.
It's only a little intimidating following the governor, but my name is Ev Liebman. I'm the Director of Advocacy for AARP New Jersey. On behalf of AARP's 1.3 million Garden State members, it is an honor, and we are so thrilled to be here today. As many of you know, AARP fights every day to make life better for New Jersey's 50+. And in today's world, we recognize the need, indeed the imperative, to accelerate the pace of change so that no one's possibilities ever be limited by their age. With today's bill signing and recent victories on paid sick days, expanding family leave insurance, pay equity, and so much more, we are so proud that under the leadership of Governor Murphy and this legislature, New Jersey has become the poster child for accelerating positive change. With Governor Murphy's signature today, New Jersey will make a real difference in millions of people's lives. You heard some statistics, but here's another one. The average household of those who do have something saved for their retirement only has $2,500 saved for retirement. The crisis disproportionately impacts women and minority workers who are less likely to have access to retirement savings programs at work. And we know that fewer than 5% of workers will set up an IRA or other retirement savings plan when left to their own devices. But with a Secure Choice plan, 71% will participate when it's offered at work. So bottom line, Secure Choice will go a long way towards fixing New Jersey's retirement security crisis. Today we are taking a monumental step to help workers in the Garden State enjoy a more secure financial future. By signing the New Jersey Secure Choice Savings Program into law, Governor Murphy is ensuring that more than half of our private sector workforce who don't currently have access to a retirement savings plan at work will now have the ability to save for their retirement and a more secure future, not just for themselves, but for their families and for their communities. And not just today's workers. Secure Choice will help workers of all ages. We particularly want to be talking to young people and generations to come. As you've heard, Secure Choice has now passed twice with bipartisan support in the New Jersey legislature. And thanks to Governor Murphy, with his campaign promise fulfilled, the dogged determination of advocates, many of you who are here in the room, and legislative champions from across the state, this time it is for real. Along with Governor Murphy, AARP thanks the bill's prime sponsors, Senator Lagana, who was with us in round one when he was in the Assembly, Assemblyman Fryman, who worked so hard with us to get this over the finish line, Assemblyman Mukherjee, and the many co-sponsors. We also want to give a shout out of thanks to Senate President Sweeney, who early on recognized the severity of this issue and has been working from the beginning to get this bill over the finish line, and Speaker Coughlin for both their leadership and commitment and the hard work of their staffs. We are looking forward to working with the Treasurer, with the Labor Commissioner, and members of Governor Murphy's team to stand up this important program and get it up and running as soon as possible. And as with everything, it takes a village. Along with Luis and the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, we thank and so appreciate the support of the many advocates from the business community, workers' organizations, faith-based, consumer, anti-poverty, and civil rights organizations for your work that made today possible. And especially for the work of our staff, amazing members, and volunteers, many of you who are with us today. Today's signing represents the unflinching determination to better the lives of those we serve. Again, we thank you all so much.
Well done. Good job. Great job. Before I bring Joe up, a couple of points that I think Ev alluded to, and there's that folks should know. Number one, the startup costs associated with this are relatively modest. The state will bear those startup costs. It's going to take us a little time. Could take us up to a year and a half or two to get this up and fully running, but we're going to go as fast as we can. Importantly, the employee can opt out of this, and that's an important point both legally and jurisdictionally. That's something that matters. But more importantly, there's a discipline associated with this, and research up and down our arm around the country emphasizes that when you know X percent is being taken out and it's automatic, and you have volitionally signed on to that program, there's a discipline about that actually has a direct correlation to the probability that you do build a nest egg that you can retire on. And that's a really important part of this. As Ev said, it takes a village, all the groups that are represented today, and certainly it takes legislative leadership. And with that, I'd love to bring up Senator Joe Logano.
Good morning and thank you. We heard a little bit towards the end from our last speaker, who's done an amazing job for the AARP. She mentioned it takes a village, and she also mentioned staff. This type of legislation, which is monumental, it's very detailed, very intricate. It doesn't get done without amazing staff, and staff on all levels. Our names are on the bill, the governor signs the bill, and it kind of takes us to put it together, but the people on the ground level who are kind of surrounding all of us here in the room here, all the staffers who really put their blood, sweat, and tears into a piece of legislation like this. The governor's staff, who was amazing, working with us hand in hand, making sure that the bill that was actually passed through the legislature was the best that it could be, so that we'd be able to stand here today and have it signed into law. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone was aware how much time and effort that all of our staff members put into it. This is, as I stated earlier, a monumental piece of legislation. I started working on this as an assemblyman several years ago, and it passed through both houses with bipartisan support, unfortunately vetoed by Governor Christie. And we were able to work through this piece of legislation again, make it better, and get it to Governor Murphy, who, of course, sees the value in this type of program, and that's why we're here today. Assemblyman Fryman, who the two of us worked hand in hand on this piece of legislation, and we bounce ideas off of each other. How can we make it better? What can we change here? What can we change there? Making sure it gets rolled out properly, making sure we capture the employees we need to capture, making sure the businesses that are involved understand the importance, meeting with all the stakeholders so that this piece of legislation gets rolled out immediately and effectively. That's all part of the equation. And I just really want to thank everyone for being behind us and really being the champions, especially AARP. AARP, India, you know, your staff has just done a wonderful job. This has taken it's taken several years, but we're here, and this is going to help. This is going to help a lot of people save for retirement. As you heard, 1.7 million people. That's half of the private sector employees in the state don't have access to a retirement savings program. That's just unacceptable. When you look at the statistics of people who are at retirement age who have almost nothing saved, this is something that all of us have to bear. I mean, it's not just that one individual's problem, it's all of our problem. And allowing people to have access to a type of savings program only helps all of us. It only benefits us as a state. Can't live on Social Security. If you start saving at a younger age, even if you're saving something, it's going to add up over the years, and you will have the availability in your retirement to live comfortably. Because after you work for 40 years, you should be able to retire comfortably and not have to worry at that point in your life. And I'm just glad that I was part of hopefully the solution. And you know, with that, I want to again thank you to Governor Murphy. We couldn't do this without him and his leadership. This is part of his platform, as you heard. Some other great pieces of legislation that the governor signed. This is just a piece of the overall puzzle. And I think when that puzzle's complete, we're going to see a wonderful picture of what New Jersey should have been and now is under his leadership. So thank you all, and I appreciate, again, everyone's help for getting this done.
Thanks, Joe. Good job, man. You know, a funny thing before Roy comes up and closes us out, a funny thing, when you pass and sign a law like this, when you get minimum wage on a multi-year path to a really working, livable wage, when you guaranteed equal pay for equal work, when you have real earned sick leave compensation, when you have the best paid family leave program in America, and on and on and on. When you add up all that together, you know what that turns out to be? Much better working morale in any organization in which folks work. These myths that say it's us versus them, and if you give workers more over here, it'll take away from our ability to do more on the business side, that's complete rubbish. That is complete and utter rubbish. This is on a long list, and Ev alluded to several of them, as did Joe, of the 1 + 1 = 3 reality that we're building in New Jersey. With workers with strong morale coming in, feeling confident that their retirement, they've got a plan, that if they get sick, they won't get fired, or if their kid is sick, or when they have a baby or a sick loved one, that they take that paid family leave, or they're going to make $11 as of January 1, as opposed to $8.85 what they're making now. That puts a kick in people's step. That's what this is about in the state, and that works not just for the folks who work, but for the folks who employ them. And it's important to say that. Now, a guy who lives advising people on financial matters and retirement matters and is an outstanding member of the legislature, let's bring up Assemblyman Roy Fryman.
One of the luxuries of closing this out is it takes the pressure off of having to mention a lot of things that you were going to mention. And as a matter of fact, I don't need to mention any of these right now, of all the things I was going to mention.
Opening day.
Opening day, right. Let's go Mets. So I'm going to go to a different avenue completely. When I was growing up, my dad used to come home, and he used to take the change out of his pocket and threw it into a jar every day. And based upon some smiles I'm seeing, it sounds a little familiar to some of you in the room. As a matter of fact, that's something I picked up, a habit I picked up as well, where I come home and I put change in the jar. And it's amazing, after a little while, what you end up with when you add it up, when you empty out that jar. It's that systematic, every day, doing a little bit that adds up. And that's really the only way to save for retirement. Doing a little bit each and every day consistently. And what you've heard before, and it's told time and time again and proven time and time again, is that the only way that really works is when it's done and provided at the workplace. And for 1.7 million employees and workers in New Jersey, it's not available. So when we sat down and we had the conversation, and AARP talked to us, and Joe and I worked together, and others worked together, How do you create something that's easy for the employers to make available, that's easy for the employees to get involved, that's low cost, portable, as the governor talked about? That was the key. Those were the key elements behind all of this, if it's going to work. And then obviously, as it grows, as people start getting used to it, we hope that the employers say, you know something, this wasn't that hard. Maybe I want to build out. Maybe I want to take this plan to a 401k and do something where it's matching as I grow and as my business grows, and build upon it. But getting started, taking that change out of your pocket. Let's start somewhere. I am so proud to be a part of this. I'm proud to be able to give people a step in the right direction, because we have to. We have to start. And I'm very proud and I'm very pleased and thankful that so many people are part of this, and the governor's here to support this. So with that, thank you very, very much.
Yeah, if what I said was right a minute ago, and if what Roy said is right in his remarks, not only is this good for workers, and employers will acknowledge that, but they'll probably want to put some skin in the game. I think that's a real prospect, a real possibility. Other states have begun down this road. I'm not sure we have enough of the data to know whether or not that actually is happening yet. It's probably too early to tell. California is the biggest, and they're still getting their plan together. But I think that's a real possibility. So to everybody, I thank you. Well, from our friends in the press, we'll take a question or two before we sign this baby, if there are any. Wait a minute, off-topic question. Yep. Yep.
Just curious what you say to them, and why are patients expected to wait longer for something that you promised?
Yep. So I know Jake's parents. In fact, they reached out to me personally, I think Monday afternoon, as I recall. And they're an extraordinary family. If you don't know the story of Jake Honig, Honig, you should look up. It's an extraordinary story of a young lad whose life has been lost, who at least could have had a better quality of life. I'm not sure he could have had an extended life. I think that may also be true, but could have had a better quality of life if medical marijuana had been more available in a smarter sense. So the answer, Matt, is we're not going to wait around a lot. We've had we had a working group meeting yesterday between our team and the leadership teams in both the Senate and the Assembly. I'm prepared to hold off for a short amount of time, and I would say the month of May would be probably the edge of that, because we can't, the health commissioner, Dr. Elnahal, and I can't, we're holding back enormous demand for more access to the medical regime. And Jake's parents are right. We've got to get on with that. I'm still confident we can get on and get it done legislatively, and I'm prepared, and I'm certainly open-minded and quite supportive for the legislature to go back at it and find those last couple of votes we didn't quite get. But that can't be an unending calendar. We owe too much to the folks. In some cases, a question of life or death. In most cases, a question of quality of life. But in either case, there can't be an unending waiting period. So I'm hoping within a reasonable, short amount of time, we can reconstitute this legislatively. I'm all in, but that has to be reasonable and short. And again, I'm going to use the month of May just to put a more specific time on it. Real quick, and then we'll. No, it's not. It's not leverage, because the legislation actually allows us to do more that I can do through executive action. So there's actually more. Jake's parents and I spoke both before he passed and immediately after he passed about dosage and the ability to get. There are a number of things in that medical bill that actually we need as a legislative matter. I can't do all of that through executive action. So, but we're going to, at a minimum, if we can't get to that point, and I'm continue to be optimistic we can legislatively, we're going to have no other choice but to open this up. With that, again, I want to thank everybody standing up here with me. Ev, thanks to you and your extraordinary team at AARP, to Mayor Bob White, to Luis in the chamber, to Joe and Roy, and to your legislative colleagues, Rob, to the activists, to the seniors, thank you for having us. Bingo at noon, by the way, I'll be back. And thanks to each and every one of you. I'm going to now sign this into law. Thank you all. If you're getting a pen, come on up. Well done. You good, man? Nice to see you again. At first the money shot without my glasses, but I can't see this stuff. Come on in, right? We can't see you. Where do you got it? Okay, here we go. Minor little pesky detail. First pen, Senator Joe Lagana. Second pen, Assemblyman Roy Fryman. These, by the way, are official Philip D. Murphy governor pens. These are not just any pen. Assemblyman Raj Mukherjee. Raj. Where would we be without AARP? Ev Liebman is in the house. Again, Luis, thank you, and the Hispanic Chamber, congratulations. Where are you, man? Is Rajpal here? Where are you, man? Come on up. Rajpal Bhatt, to you and your organization for all your support, man, every step of the way. Renee, you're here, I know, because I saw you. Renee Kubianis from the Anti-Poverty Network. Where are you, Renee? Almost there. Reverend Robin Tanner from Salvation and Justice, right? Good Reverend Boyer, my best. Sarah, you're also with AARP, right? Sarah Misowitz Gill from the National Chapter. Congratulations. Well done. Thanks for your help. And last but certainly not least, our host mayor today. It's the 28th day of March. Year 2019, year of our Lord. Yankees and Mets. Baseball is in the house, Bob. Congratulations. This is the law of the land.